Gamage investigation. Officers accused. The cop in the middle will stand alone. More local news. A killer crash, a local teen dead. Police go after his own brother. New details. Full police, improving summer safety. Live, local, late-breaking news from Channel 11 News. Anchored by Chris Long, Peggy Finnegan, Sam Nover on sports, and Dennis Bowman's Carnegie Science Center weather. Now, Channel 11 News.
Traffic stop death. 3 officers accused. There is new information tonight in the death of Johnny Gamage.
Some call it a big win for defense attorneys. One of the police officers at the center of the controversial death will face the music alone. Officer John Votis will claim self-defense for his part in the death of young Gamage. And this could be big. He will not be tried with the other police officers accused. Channel 11's Michelle Esteban is live tonight with the story.
The defense strikes early in this case, but we're going to have to wait all the way until October before we hear any testimony. That would be 1 year since Johnny Gamage died. Again, 3 officers still charged and 3 happy defense attorneys tonight.
Brentwood officer John Votis will stand alone when a jury hears his side of the story. Although 3 South Hills officers have been charged, Votis says his role that fatal night was very different than his co-worker, Lieutenant Milt Mulholland, and former Baldwin cop Michael Albert. Votis' attorney Jim Ecker will argue that Johnny Gamage moved first, lunging at John Votis, and Votis' reaction was only self-defense. The coroner's office says Gamage died from constant pressure to his chest, but at the time of his death, just minutes after the traffic stop, John Votis was nowhere near Gamage. But Lieutenant Mulholland and Officer Albert can't deny they were there. Testimony already shows they were trying to hold Gamage down in order to cuff him. Their attorneys will argue they were meeting force with force, just trying to do their jobs. In short, Gamage's death, they believe, was an accident.
Now, it's hard to get reaction from anyone involved in this case because Judge David Cashman, who's handling the case, has handed down a gag order preventing them from talking. But it is fair to say that all 3 attorneys are happy about this. Why? Well, Milt Mulholland's attorney wanted to go first. He will go first. Also, Michael Albert's testimony will be heard then as well. And John Votis' attorney wanted to go second, and they're all getting their way tonight. Reporting live, Michelle Esteban, Channel 11 News.
Major news tonight about a deadly wreck in Monroeville. That crash earlier killed a local high school student and hurt 3 others. It was an East Pittsburgh teen that died in that violent crash, and now his own brother is being charged with vehicular homicide. Police say 19-year-old Brian Winwood's blood alcohol level was twice the legal limit when he crashed in Monroeville May 7th. Channel 11's Deidre Dukes is live at downtown Pittsburgh at the DA's office with the latest. Deidre.
Well, Margaret, 16-year-old Timothy Winwood, Brian's brother, was killed in that crash, and 2 other passengers in the car that night were hurt. We're told now by the district attorney's office that vehicular homicide charges will be filed against Brian Winwood after reviewing the police report. The investigation reveals Brian Winwood, who was driving the night of the accident, had a blood alcohol level of 0.22. Now, the legal limit is 0.10. The report also states Winwood was traveling at about 65 miles per hour before the crash, almost double the posted speed limit for that stretch of road. Winwood also faces DUI charges for driving while under the influence of alcohol. Mothers Against Drunk Driving's Arlene Baxter says the tragic accident sends a strong message to teens that drinking and driving spells trouble. Under current law, teens can't transport, buy, or consume alcohol, but they face no stronger penalties than adults if they're caught driving after having a drink. MAD wants to change that.
It is now they're not allowed to drink, but they can drink and drive with the adults up to the adult standard. It makes them feel that they can get behind the wheel, and they won't be charged, and they are correct, until they are close to a .10.
At last report, we understand that Brian Winwood remains in the hospital. He is still recovering from injuries received that night. Reporting live in downtown Pittsburgh, Deidre Dukes, Channel 11 News.
Thanks, Deidre. Westmoreland County now. A hero 1 week and accused arsonist the next. Police say Harvey Neiswanger torched his ex-girlfriend's apartment just a week after saving a family from a fire. Channel 11 Westmoreland County reporter Rick Earl live in Greensburg tonight with details on this. Rick?
Well, Chris, after hearing the evidence this afternoon, a district justice ordered Harvey Neiswanger to stand trial for arson. Now, police say Neiswanger torched his ex-girlfriend's apartment in South Greensburg. She was not home, but 2 elderly neighbors, overcome by smoke, were rushed to the hospital. A neighbor testified today that she saw Neiswanger outside the home just before the fire. Police say Neiswanger broke into the home and set the fire to get back at his ex-girlfriend for breaking up with him.
I can't believe that he would want to hurt me, but now after everything that's happened, I do believe that he would try to hurt me because he was jealous of me and wanted to be possessive, was possessive of me.
Thank God we're alive. I hope and pray to God nobody has to go through this. It's nothing, it's serious. I'll never forget it. I'll probably live with it the rest of my life. I'm sorry.
And his wife were treated and released from the hospital. Ironically, 1 week before his arrest, Neiswanger called 911 and reported a huge blaze at a warehouse in Youngwood. During that fire, Neiswanger helped to rescue a family from their apartment next to the warehouse. Live in Greensburg, Rick Earl, Channel 11 News.
Rick, have investigators determined the cause of the fire in Youngwood?
Well, the state police fire marshal is waiting for lab results. So far, they've ruled it undetermined, but the fire chief in Youngwood tells me it is very suspicious.
Thank you, Rick.
Well, now the Parkway East, Route 28, just 2 local roads that are being called danger zones tonight. Truck drivers are pushing a campaign for highway safety. Channel 11's Stu Brown is live on the north side now with the latest. Stu.
As we look at traffic going north on Route 28 during the rush hour, I can tell you that the American Trucking Association is pushing that campaign because it says there have been too many truck accidents. The Trucking Association survey of 40 cities found 6 especially dangerous areas in Pittsburgh, including the West End Circle, where 5 different roadways merge. Local motorist Rod Neal agrees with that choice.
Because there's no really control there. It's total chaos. People jump in front of you. There's no clear signs.
Besides the West End Circle, the association lists the Parkway East downtown, Parkway West near Carnegie, Route 28, where it lacks barriers, the Route 51 and 58 intersection, and the outbound Fort Pitt Bridge. Local drivers have some other choices.
The Parkway at the Squirrel Hill Tunnel.
Why?
It's just, traffic is a mess, every morning and every evening.
Dangerous, confusing?
More dangerous, not real confusing.
Well, whenever I do come into Pittsburgh, I come down through the Fort Pitt tunnels, and it's always terrible to come.
Trent Webb, a Tennessee-based contractor for Moon Township-based trucking firm RPS, says too many motorists are impatient at the cost of safety.
Ultimately, each day, it might cost you a minute or 2 minutes time to practice that, but it could, you know, save you being part of a major incident.
Well, the American Trucking Association, which is an industry lobbying group, says that there aren't just too many accidents, but it does point out that accident rates nationwide, including Pennsylvania, involving trucks and cars, have been going down. Live on the north side, Stuart Brown, Channel 11 News.
Stu, what do you think is the major cause of accidents between trucks and cars?
Well, the truckers say that one of the causes is people cutting in front of a truck, and another is driving alongside the truck so that the truck driver doesn't know what you're going to do. And finally, they say that if you can't see the truck's mirrors, then the truck driver can't see you, and that's a good rule to keep in mind when you're on roads like this.
All right. Thank you, Stu.
And the University of Pittsburgh taking some major steps tonight to try to rein in fraternities. Starting this coming fall, the university will hire a graduate student to live at the Pi Kappa Phi fraternity house. That person will oversee 8 on-campus fraternity houses. The move comes after several recent incidents involving Pitt fraternities. They include a hazing incident in which 5 fraternity brothers are accused of beating 2 fraternity pledges so badly they suffered kidney damage.
The role of that in-house advisor is not really to be a policeman. It's to work with the students to help them develop and to educate them so that these problems don't occur.
Ken Service of Pitt, surprisingly, many students are apparently supporting the university's decision on fraternities.
Coming up on Channel 11 News at 6, pool police. Officers are about to walk the beat around local pools. We're live with a story.
And ready, aim, fire. Hunters may soon have animals like this in their crosshairs at a local park.
And cracking down on body piercing. A new law could keep your kids from getting their body parts pierced.